Hello, Steve again. Some of you have been writing me asking me, well, how do I put new strings on my harp? And that's actually kind of a basic question because you really do need strings on your harp when they break, and they do break. So I'm going to teach you today how to tie a harper's knot, and I'm going to use this big piece of fishing line because it's nice bright green and it'll show up easy. Your strings are not going to be this big, but this will help me show you how to tie the knot. So I'm going to zoom in close here and show you what I went to a seminar one time where a fellow who does major harp work and what he calls regulation, he showed us the easy way to tie the knot. So I want to try to share that with you. And I hope that this will make it a lot easier for you putting your strings on when they break. Okay, so you're going to take the end of your harp string, and the first thing you do is make a loop that brings the string over the top of itself, and then you're going to do the same thing with the second loop, doing it once again over the top of itself. So now you have two Mickey Mouse ears here. That's what we like to call, in fact the regulator fellow said this is the Mickey Mouse knot. So anyway, that helps you remember it. So then you take the loop in your right hand and put it through the loop there, and you pull tight on that, and that gives you your harper's knot. You pull it tight, and then you see there's that string that comes against itself, and that will not release. Now I'm going to add one more thing. If you're up at the top end of your harp at the small strings and it's hard to get your hand up inside, a really nice thing to do is to push the string in from the top on the outside, push it in until it comes down, and then pull that through and make your knot down there like we just showed you. I'll do another one just to repeat. And then pull it back up through there and out, and that way you don't have to get your hand up inside there. So that's just another little trick of the trade there. Okay, so there's your harper's knot. Okay, one more thing I'd like to show you is when you're getting up to the upper end of your harp, up to the small strings, sometimes the hole in the soundboard is so large that the string knot and all will pull through it. So there's another thing we can do to prevent that. We go ahead and do the same, a very similar to the Mickey Mouse. We'll make the first two, but then we're going to fold them in on each other like this, so that it makes a loop. Some people call this a horse hitch. And then we're going to put another larger piece of string through it and pull that tight. Whoops. This is not going well. Anyway, pull it tight through there so that that's hitched over it. It's kind of hard because I've got this big string here. And then what I recommend is you take one more loop and put it over there so you actually have three loops over there, and then you pull that all tight, and then that comes up against the hole, and that will hold, it won't let it go. Even if the hole is bigger, that will stop it right there because you have that bigger piece of string holding on. Just one more little point. Okay, so we've taken care of the bottom end of the string, so now we've got to take care of the top end of the string, which goes to the tuning pin. So the first thing we want to make sure is that your tuning pin is out a little bit, because these are threads that the more you screw it, the more it goes in. So you want to have, usually what's best is on the old string, just unwind it until it comes to the point of coming out. And that way it'll be about where it needs to be. Anyway, the next thing is to find the hole and to push the string through the hole, okay? And you just want to, now if you have really long strings, you can push them way out and then wind it if you want to. What I have had told me by some is that you want to have about 5 or so strings over to have enough to wind up. I'm going to follow this string because this is a string that's already been in place. So first of all, push it through, and then you begin to wind it. Make sure you're going the right direction of the other strings, and make that string come in behind where it went through, and then start to do another turnaround and have it come over the top of it, and then begin to wind it out. Now make sure it's coming over the bridge pin there. Okay, so make sure that your string is coming around this bridge pin, and as we brought it over, just start to wind it right up next to each other, okay? Now you don't want to over tighten this string, so you want to make sure that you're not above the lower notes. So now you know you're just about the right tension, but you want to get it a little higher to the next note. So let's go to the So here that's working. Now you're going to have to tighten it several times because this string is stretching. So just get used to the idea that you're going to stretch. Now the other thing is, probably most of your other strings are going to be slightly out of tune because you took one string off, had one string broken, and that changes the whole tension of your whole neck here. So just get used to the idea that you're going to have to do some tuning for the next few days until you get things stretched back into place. So I hope that gives you the idea of how to put a new string on your harp, and keep tuning and stay tuned. Thanks for listening.